everyone, welcome back. As you may know, I'm Shannon Ellison with the Walker team of Intero, and I want to start this video today by sharing something that I am grateful for. I'm grateful to live in one of the most competitive areas in the US and maybe even the whole entire world. Competition can be intimidating for some people, but the way I see it is it makes you stronger, it makes you more resilient, and that much more of a badass when you go to any other state or place in the world where there's just not as much competition. So thank you, Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is a great place to be, especially if you are in tech, if you've got a tech startup. But what is it like to be an investor in real estate here? My team and I work with several real estate investors, and there's two main reasons that this area in specific is different than investing in most other areas of the country, aside from maybe Manhattan. Reason number one, cash flow, baby. Simply put, cash flow is the money a property generates versus the money it takes to maintain it. In order to cash flow positive, meaning each month after the tenant pays rent, which you then use to pay for your taxes, your mortgage, and the operating cost of the property, you're left with money in your pocket. This is positive cash flow. In this area, it can be difficult to do this unless you purchase a property with all cash or you have more than 50% down in most cases. For example, you find a 2-bed, 2-bath condo in San Jose for $850K with HOA dues costing $425 a month. You plan to put down 20%, which is $170,000. You finance the rest at 3.6% interest, and your mortgage payments come out to about $4,700 a month. So you look up what those 2-bed, 2-bath condos are renting for in the area, and you find you can charge about $3,100 to $3,400 a month for it, and it's already apparent that your monthly income for the property is going to be less than your mortgage payment. This is negative cash flow. Some investors, when they're just starting out, they buy duplexes, they live in one unit, rent out the other, or others if it's a triplex. This can be a smart way to get the investor's snowball rolling. You let the renter pay for your mortgage or a large portion of it, and if you're purchasing all cash, here's the breakdown. Your yearly income from that same property will be about $3,200 times 11 and a half months to account for some vacancy weeks. That's $36,800 a year. Subtract your annual taxes, about $6,500 annually. Then you subtract the annual HOA dues, which in this case are $5,100 a year. Investors in the Silicon Valley generally like cap rates around 4%, but it can vary based on what the investor is trying to accomplish. As you can see by the example, it can be tough, especially with new condos that have more amenities and higher HOA dues, to cash flow positive. Negatively cash flowing or even just breaking even is not necessarily a bad thing in this area because of the Silicon Valley's higher than normal appreciation, which brings me to reason number 2, appreciation. Most investors invest here because of the long-term gains. They buy at a low, they hold, and then they wait for the property to appreciate in value 5 to 7 years, or maybe longer in some cases. Then they cash out and possibly buy up to a bigger investment property. The cycle continues and the wealth builds. Annual appreciation in the Silicon Valley is about 3 to 5% per year, and on average has appreciated more than 77% in the last 10 years. So when calculating appreciation, you take monthly loss in comparison to potential appreciation. It's also important, if you're running at a loss, do not take on a payment that you can't easily maintain. So according to those numbers, if you're an investor, you purchased our $850,000 example condo today and you waited just 7 years before selling, you would have made roughly $178,000 in 7 years. But he can now sell that property and purchase another property at a higher price point, possibly in the $1 million range, and do it all over again. Remember, it's also important to determine if you're negative cash flowing, what the monthly loss has been over time before you determine your overall return on investment. And that is the magic, my friends, of investing in the Silicon Valley. For those of you who stuck around to the end, I hope you pulled a few good things out of this video. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Shannon Ellison of the Walker team of Intero. Like, subscribe for more real estate content, drop a comment for more ideas on video topics, and I'll see you next time.